Greetings and welcome, family. Thanks for stopping by for another episode of RoadTripja, the heartbeat of Jamaica's roads. As is customary to navigate you through the terrain is Dr. A, your excursion extraordinaire and guide. Today will be no exception. In fact, today it is expected that you will be amazed by what we have prepared for you. Today we'll be following our open street view plan. We'll be coming in hot, visualizing Jamaica, and after which we'll be diving a little bit closer into our starting point, which will be at the Harborview roundabout, and we will be making our journey towards the Yalasa district. After that, we'll be looking at the terrain, the infrastructure, and maybe even switch to a three-dimensional view of the surrounding area so you can have an idea as to the exact location of where the road is currently, the route that we're traveling, the time that it takes us, and then we're going to be mapping based on the information that we have ascertained, the dimensions, the widening, the different proposals to see where exactly will the road be running. And this will be an exclusive. It took a long time to prepare, but we have it all together, and as such we are willing to share, because once we know, you know. If that is something that you're interested in seeing today, our open street view, please stick around. Thanks for choosing to stay for the experience. Now that we are all here, if you are not yet subscribed to the RoadTripja channel, please feel free to do so and ensure you turn your notification on to all so you will be notified on every occasion of release without exception. If our conversation added any value or even a new perspective, please indicate by turning the like button blue. To have conversation with us, you can do so in the VIP section, the comments, and don't forget to share so others can become a part of the family. For added information and reference material, visit the description below. It is that time again. It is time to get active. See on your screen we have Jamaica being marked out. We have isolated it for our excursion today. I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. So we're going to be landing at the Norman Manley International Airport, and we're coming in hot, after which we're going to be taking our route over by Harborview. So this view that we're getting is the open street view for Jamaica with a few minor plotted data so we can have an assessment and see exactly what it is. Most Jamaicans and tourists comes through the Norman Manley International Airport. Others may choose to fly via the Sangster International Airport. Either way, coming in at any of the two locations is acceptable, and it gives you exclusive access to Jamaica. Nevertheless, we'll be moving forward on the Palisados Road after we have completed the roundabout and head right to another roundabout which will take us right to Harborview. Harborview will be our starting location. The journey from Harborview to Yalas St. Thomas should take us about 22 minutes. Let us put our directions in our mapping system and get some information. So our starting point is going to be Harborview roundabout. Beautiful. And our next location will be Yalas St. Thomas, and the estimated runtime is 27 minutes. So if we start now, the time is now 6 p.m. we should be able to reach there by about 6:26 p.m. The approximate distance based on the route that has been selected, the current road network, is 23.35 kilometers, and that is indicating that we are driving. If you're in Jamaica and you ask someone how do you get to Yalas from Harborview, they're going to tell you just go straight, and when you have crossed that bridge, you'll be in Yalas. Don't take any turns, just go straight. That is how we tell it to someone, and they will understand exactly what we're saying. Or would say just go straight around the corner, and in a few you'll reach exactly where you want to go. You'll see the big sign saying Yalas. But if we use international standard, we will realize that just going straight is not the best direction, especially for non-natives to understand. So let us just look at the directions which we have been given that we asked to be plotted on our mapping system. So at the roundabout, we're going to take the third exit onto Bull Bay Main, that is the A4, and the road that we have from Harborview straight into Yallahs is the A4 road, and that is the road in which the highway is going to be running through at some points. Then we're going to tell the individual to continue forward on that said major highway, and that will take us past 11 miles, Three Finger Jack, passing the communities in close proximity. We're going to turn right on the major highway, and you're going to see how that right turn came about, and then that is going to take us close to the Albion Pond area, and then we're going to continue forward to the Yallahs Main Road. So the Yallahs Main Road actually starts, based on this mapping, all the way from the Albion Pond, and we continue forward on the A4 main road, and we're going to cross the Yallahs Bridge. We're going to cross that thoroughfare. After we've crossed that thoroughfare, we're going to continue forward, and in continuing forward, we would be moving past the Yallahs Bridge to the Poor Man's Corner, then crossing to South Haven, and then if we take a turn, if we continue forward, we'll be on the Yallahs Main Road, and then we'll see the sign Yallahs, and eventually when you reach congestion, you'll know that you're in the town center. So that there is the route, and if we look at the route, it's just right around the corner. You understand what it means when we say it's right around the corner. Let us remove the mapping data and let us get to what we have plotted on your behalf so you can get a view of exactly how the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Road Network is going to run. Section 1A. So coming from the roundabout, we already know that the roundabout heading towards the 11 miles area, that road was recently paved and recently manicured. However, they will be making some minor adjustment, especially when you reach towards the Bull Bay area. We have been driving around the area in which we used to have a gas station. They're going to be clearing the road, extending the laneage to accommodate 4 lanes. Currently it's 2 lanes, so they're going to be using 2 from that area and another 2 from the road that we used to use before. But what is quite interesting is that many people may have missed it. When we reach down to the 7 miles area and we are making our way towards St. Thomas, we would realize that they are planning to have a different road network which circumvents some of the curvature in the road, especially right where we have the bridge. So the last time when we had a flooding exercise, the experience with the flooding, the Czech company was trying to remove their equipment from on the side of the bridge. The reason they were removing those equipments from the underside of the bridge was because they were working on developing this proposed leg that crosses the Cane River area of the 1A section of the highway. But it will merge on back to the A4 and then we'll continue on to the Bull Bay Main Road. So while we're at Bull Bay Main Road, some of the areas will be a little bit stretched in that we will have a little bit more width. However, those will not be anything major. But as we progress, another major area that I want to bring to your attention, especially as we move down to the Bull Bay area in which we have one of our favorite location, the Suncoast area. Right after we would have cleared the border, coming all the way around, what is going to be happening is that if you look and you see in yellow coloring, this is a road network, the A4 that we are currently utilizing. However, the road that will be developed and designed is going to be cutting behind that road also towards the sea area, which means that a few communities in 11 Mile will be circumvented if the desire is to traverse on this thoroughfare. But there will be a joining of the road as they continue down on the A4. So if you want a smoother, safer ride, you may just travel straight. It has less corners, and where there are many curvature, what they have done is that they have designed it in such a way where it is widened so you don't feel the curves as intensely when you are steering around these areas. And in this area where the road is bending in on itself, they're just gonna get rid of that area, stretch it out, and then smooth out the corners. As we head down towards Grand Spend, instead of going all the way around, up and down the hill, come around, come back, all this kind of road network, and then we go down on the hill and then go all the way down into the Grand Spend community, almost touching the people's area of dwelling, and then circling back onto the main thoroughfare of E4. Instead of doing all of that, what has been designed is that the road is going to just loop around it smoothly. Instead of going all the way in zigzag line and curving, it's going to loop smoothly around towards the Grand Spend community and reaching close proximity to the Grand Spend community to make another arch in which it will circumvent a good portion of the Grand Spend community. But it may seem as though it's a disadvantage to the community. To a degree it may be. However, this smooth curvature or arching of the road makes it easier for commuters, especially coming down at high speeds, and it also takes the community outside of the reach of motor vehicle accidents and danger per se. But if we look at the road in its current form, we can realize how much gas has been wasted based on the road design. However, I can say that I understand the idea behind building the road like this in the time that it was built. It was due to the technological advances available, and not only technological advances available, also the degree of terrain and the elevations that were there. Instead of boring through, they decided to go around. So where there are grits and grooves, that is the area that they decided was most favorable to build the road. It costs less in the initial stages, but it costs the commuters a lot in the long run. Now, after that is done, they're going to be widening a few areas alongside the Albion Road, which we have seen thus far. Future updates will show you exactly what is happening. And then we move down to the Albion community, and we know that they're working within this geographic area. If we come down a little bit, we see the areas where they are widening. So just look at the gray and white areas. These are the areas in which the road will be stretching, and they'll be in these areas, so we can appreciate exactly what is happening. So as we come down to the Albion community, we're seeing that Albion community has two distinct sides. You have the Albion estate, which is to the lower section of your screen, and then we have the other side of Albion, which is to the upper section of the screen. So if we look, dividing these two communities is a road network, and it will be stretched on either side. The road will be continuing to cut through this community, and we're seeing that work is being done on the school road area and also towards the gas station area, as we're seeing currently. What I'm thinking as I'm reviewing this is, currently we don't have JUTC running in this area. Could it be that the government is going to now try to put the JUTC bus on the St. Thomas route to disenfranchise those taxi operator and bus operators by creating a monopolistic system in which it's going to cause them not to be viable operators? It's just something to think about, because the government is making such an investment in this area. There is usually reasons for doing so, because currently the JUTC bus does not pass Bull Bay, and Bull Bay is the area where majority of the road is in fair condition. When you leave Bull Bay heading down the hill with all the corners and all these kind of stuff, trucks always get stopped there and all kind of stuff happen. But is it that the government is also looking at the idea of sending their buses to disenfranchise those hardworking motorists in this community and in this area? If we remember, Half Tree had a transit system as well, and that transit system was commandeered by the government and had refused to give license to the bus companies that were operating in that area because they wanted those routes. So what if another situation like this happens? But we have to hold our leaders accountable to ensure that they don't come in to ruin the infrastructure and the networking. But if we're going to be getting a more efficient service, then we will welcome it. However, I hope that they will have consultations with the different taxi operators, the different bus companies that operate within the St. Thomas area. So if you are a taxi operator, a bus operator, and you're watching this, be mindful that within the next 2 years, by 2023 plus or minus, the government may impose or infringe on your business model. So prepare yourself to shift, to pivot your business design so you can still remain profitable. And now we're moving into the South Haven community. This is a beautiful community. I always mention this community because this community is a very rich community. Many people don't even know that this community exists. And even the area to the sea, right in the sea area, this sea stretches right towards Albion. This area from Albion, as we look at it, we are seeing the Cow Bay area. We have the fishing section, we have the fishing section, and we have the docking section where your cargoes can come and dock, and then we have the surfing section over by South Haven community. You may have remembered us crossing the Yalis Bridge, which is right here. What is going to be happening for that bridge is that it seems as though it's going to be expanded to a degree. But if we come down, we realize that the water runs straight into the sea, and it's the Yalis Bridge that divides these two communities. If you're in this community, in the Albion community, you can walk maybe about 15 to 20 minutes and you can reach South Haven, depending on how briskly you are walking. And then if you're at South Haven, you can walk for another 15 minutes and then reach Yalis. But the best place to walk is on the back side and not necessarily the main road. There has been sighting, I have never confirmed it, of crocodiles being seen or spotted in the geographic. And then when we make our way to Yalis area, this is a beautiful place. This is where we have what you may be accustomed to as our swimming beach. Buildings, and then voila, you're on the beach. So that there is our tour, and I hope that you have gotten some clarity, some understanding as to the exact area that the road network will be running, and also to see the areas in which the road will be realigned and readjusted. Feel free to rewatch the video so you can see exactly what it is that you may have missed. Thank you very much for your time, and we will see you in the next episode. And in the next episode, I'm going to be trying to do a 3D rendering. This is Dr. A signing out now from RoadTripja, the heartbeat of Jamaica's roads. It is our duty to keep you in the know. Until next time, peace, love, respect.